Hello fellow human beings, and welcome back to my Boars solo of FE6 hard mode. This time we tackle Chapter 4, and it doesn't go as smoothly as I'd have liked. Really, the only reason I didn't do a separate take of this chapter is because Boars got really good level ups that he needed. So, yeah. This chapter theoretically shouldn't be very difficult at all, because none of these enemies are threats to boars. Also, again, I forgot to turn off the animations at the start of the chapter. That happens to me a lot. But yeah, not the best chapter. Though Boars does hit max level, he does get a few really, really good levels that, if he didn't get, I definitely would have done a separate take of this map, but nope. RNG blessed us with a good Boars, so I'll take what I can get, even if it does mean losing out on some money, because we could have sold the Steel Blade, I think it is. But yeah, that level up, super good. So I was like, okay, I guess I don't want to reset then. Because he gets strength there, and then for levels 19 and 20, he also gets strength. But yeah, to start, we send Shauna down to the bottom village in order to get that angelic rope, so we can make sure we have it by the time the pirates come out. So yeah, I'm not sure if sending Boars on that bridge was the better play than just sending him on the bottom one. It probably isn't, because he just takes one guy on at a time. I think if I sent him south, he might have been able to be further out in the open, as opposed to only being in range of one range attacker at a time. So now that we have the angelic robe, we're just gonna send Shauna back up to the main group so she can do more rescue utility, and with all these enemies coming up, we're about to get pretty overwhelmed. Chlorine's coming over here, so I think not this turn, but next turn, we'll drop Roy off so she can recruit herself. So that we could have, hopefully, recruited Rutger, but the way RNG played out, did not want that to happen. But I tried, regardless. Here, Boars is just not one-rounding things like usual, missing some things like usual. You know, the normal Boar stuff. Here I'm just checking enemy ranges, just to see if I can keep her only in range of one guy. Because Shauna's base bulk is actually pretty good, so she can take a hit, but not much more than that. Also, most of the enemies on this map won't attack Chlorine, which is helpful information. Though the Chapter 11 reinforcements work differently, and that they will... did I just say Chapter 11? I meant Turn 11 reinforcements will attack her. I'm not sure if they'll still attack a green Chlorine, but they definitely will attack a recruited one. I'm not sure about the pirates. I don't think I've ever left her in range of one. Though maybe I do. I don't remember. We'll see. Now, pirates are starting to come up, Rutger's squad is coming up, Boars is just doing what he can, but I could have burned a Silver Lance, or 2 Silver Lance uses if I wanted to one-round this guy, but I opt to just Javelin him so that we can retaliate against the Hand Axe guy on enemy phase. Because as I've said in previous installments of this series, that even though javelins in this game are awful and are way less accurate than iron lances, they're less powerful than iron lances, but it lets you retaliate against more enemies and attack more often. So your odds are still better using a javelin than they are just using a lance. Though a lot of the time you do have opportunities to just manipulate the system by using a proper lance on player phase and then trading him to a javelin for enemy phase, but that's basically the extent of optimization for equipped weapons on boars. So yeah, here we're just forced to start trying to tank, and as something a bit funny happens, you'll see, is that Lou gets doubled by a Cavalier because he rolled 10 speed. So I probably should have checked his stats to see if he had 10 speed. Though I've literally never seen an enemy double Lou on this map, so I was pretty like, whoa, that's a thing. Lou's supposed to be fast, but 6 base speed is definitely not stellar. I'll say that much. But yeah, here we're basically forced to bottleneck ourselves. And we're gonna be using Marcus to keep the group up in the corner safe. But here Boris gets another good level. He gets strength and skill. The skill is really important on him, just because of how often he misses. And because of true hit, hit rates do sort of snowball. Because the higher your hit rate is, the more true hit affects it. There's a table out there on Serene's Forest, I think, that shows you by how much, but like a 90% hit will be more boosted by true hit than an 88% hit will be, and so on. But yeah, Merlinus will die here, obviously, though. Well, it does kind of suck, because I would have liked to sell stuff this map. Like, sell all our swords, all our bows, all the stuff we're not going to use. Also, that house, I've never seen pirates just destroy, and not even destroy, because it's still there, and I even visit it later. But it pops up, the village was destroyed when they're on a house? Like, well, that confused me, because it doesn't actually do anything to the house. The house is still there, you can still visit it. But yeah, it's a pretty bizarre occurrence, but now that the village is destroyed, all the pirates will come and attack boars. And good thing about being choked up is that it's plenty of staff rank and EXP for Chlorine, because Marcus is getting hit every turn. But yeah, this part of the map, pretty tedious, pretty slow, because enemies are going to go for Marcus. Boars is just going to have to do what he can every turn. Though, thankfully, because that archer is there, the hand axe pirates will actually attack boars in 1 range instead of 2 range, because they're too dumb to go below boars. So they'll just go right up next to him, attack him in 1 range. Here we're just gonna kill the cav, yeah, because we do want to leave the archer there, so that the hand axe guys go for boars in 1 range. Now we're just going to optimize our rescues so that Shauna is free to rescue somebody if need be. She doesn't end up having to, though. And I didn't even comment on it, but having to kill Rutger was kind of sad. I did try and get him, but boars missed a javelin on the archer, so we weren't able to. I mean, he wouldn't have been that useful, but he is a good meat shield, and the killing edge does sell for a decent bit, so it was kind of sad regardless, even if we can't use the super good combat unit for combat. Yeah, Boars is actually properly one-rounding some enemies here, even if they're level 1 pirates. Doesn't one-round the calves, though, even though he has weapon triangle on some of the calves. Funnily enough, this is actually some good EXP for Marcus. I wonder if he'll actually get a level up by the end of the series. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, really not much to comment on. We're just doing the exact same thing with like 20 turns in a row. Probably even more than 20 turns, honestly, with how long this takes, but just dealing with pirates one at a time, because Boars likes missing. Here he gets his first crit of the series, I think. That was his first one, I'm pretty sure. So, good for him. He saved an Iron Lance use, so that's something. It's about to level up. And yeah, Boars is max level now, so this is as good as he's gonna get for... See, this is chapter 4, so 4 more chapters until he can promote. So he has peaked for now. I might give him the Angelic Robe next chapter if it actually impacts something. Like if it keeps him from dying to a Dory crit, I'll give him it, but otherwise I might actually save it for Wendy. Even though Wendy's awful, but she's one of 3 units I'm actually allowed to deal damage with, so gotta make as good use of her as possible, huh? Now we can finally deal with all those enemies, and we no longer have to bottleneck ourselves. Yay. Yeah, now that my Boars has gotten strength 3 levels in a row, he actually has average strength, so he's no longer strength screwed at all, because 13 is the average for a level 20 unpromoted Boars. I think his stats compared to average are plus 1 HP, average strength, average skill, plus 3 speed, plus 3 luck, average defense, and plus 1 res. I looked at him earlier, and I'm pretty sure that's what he was. But yeah, now we're just gonna bait out that Nomad with Boars. Although, come to think of it, I could have baited with someone else just for the extra heal, but it doesn't really matter. It does not really matter. Here we just buy some more lances. Buy a bunch of javelins. It's like 100 javelin uses I just bought. So we should, in theory, be good on those. In theory. Though, who knows, maybe they'll all break and then I'll be sad. And we also buy 1 heal stave, because that's all we can afford. Yeah, Boars is just... Even when using an Iron Lance, he's like missing 80s and 85s. That's clearly because FE6 RNG is bugged, right guys? Bugged RNG, haha. And here I made a mistake, I accidentally did wrong movement math in my head, so I have to do this, but this is fine, because someone will just take a hit. Which is free heal EXP, so I guess I should be thankful I made a bad play that turned out to be sorta optimal when it comes to healer EXP. But yeah, now we just have 3 enemies left. None of them are threatening, not even Eric, because Eric is dealing 0 damage to Boars right now. Since Boars has 18 defense. And Eric's only weapons are a steel sword and a javelin. I think he would do 1 damage to Boars if... what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he'd do 1 damage to Boars if weapon triangle wasn't a thing. He'd deal 1 with his steel sword, but luckily weapon triangle is a thing. I mean, it's not like it would have mattered if Boars took 1 damage from him. In fact, that'd just be more heal EXP. So maybe I should be mad it exists, seeing as axe enemies are annoying when you're using a lance-only unit to solo. Yeah, here we bait that guy out with Marcus just for the heal EXP. May as well get our healer's staff ranks up, since we're probably gonna be able to use Ellen, Clarine, and Saul. Because who else are we using guiding rings on, really? I can't think of anybody. No damage. Next chapter, I think enemies will actually deal damage to Boars, because there are a lot of fighters, and Briggs and Dory with his 19 or 20 strength. Yeah, Bors is actually not doubling Eric, which is kind of sad, but he is doing enough damage so that we don't have to use the Silver Lance. Because we only have 9 uses left. 9 uses is a lot, seeing as we get an extra Silver Lance next chapter. Not next chapter, chapter 6, I mean. So we effectively have 29 uses, but even then, I'd like to save it as much as possible, as long as it doesn't mean doing like 3 damage per turn to a boss, because that'd be really annoying. But yeah, 41 turns. Here I just, you know, check everybody's inventories, make sure everything's managed properly. Give Bors an extra Iron Lance for next chapter. And yeah, that's about it. My Bors is pretty good, as far as Borses are concerned. If Borses is the plural for Bors. Also, I like this line. Cowardly burn, underhanded tactics. Probably my favorite line from Roy in the game. But, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.